The name is Chiafak Mtonga, and this is the Crystal Beauty Show. You know how we do it here? We have a lot of fun, excitement, and today I have brought a person in particular whose problem is to, whose hobby is to cause problems, to disturb people. And he also doubles as the writer. I think. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well.
Okay,
Not dead yet.
Not dead yet. So, may we know you?
Well, my name is Fokwa, Babila, and there is a name in the middle that I prefer to bury. So,
okay,
I prefer to go by Fokwa, Babila, and I am a production designer, screenwriter, accountant, business enthusiast. You can put it in any order.
Business enthusiast.
Yes.
Most of that one. What's be business enthusiast?
Well, I have interest
in
certain business activities, certain undertakings and stuff, certain enterprises.
Okay, so you are a production designer. Yeah. That is a very, very new field in the Cameroon film industry, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's one that a lot of people are still wanting to embrace. So how has been the ride?
Well, it's been rough. Like you say, it's something that people are still wanting to embrace. And embracing something new is not always ideal. Like, it takes a lot of convincing. Yeah, and hopefully we get to the point where everybody is convinced that their projects need production designing.
Okay, so Mr. King of Nets. Well, what's funny?
No.
I just used a name.
Yeah, you used. I did not expect that to come up, and I don't believe that I forgot it in my introduction.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, if you're just tuning in, rather, if this is the first time of you meeting this gentleman here, he is the King of Nets. We did not want, he wanted to hide that part of him because it's a part on social media that people have been looking for to, But so he is here right now. Do your worst, okay? Do your worst. Tweet, write, do anything. Just do your worst, because we are going to, dive into that name, King of Nerds, and actually scrutinize it. So, King of Nerds, this is the writer part of you.
I like to hope so.
So, what makes you feel like you can speak freely and insult people?
It's Cameroon.
It's Cameroon.
Free speech, right?
Okay. So
I'm trying to test the extent of that free speech.
Yeah. So we understand that you are a very controversial writer. So you write a lot about social life, about the Cameroonian social life.
Yeah, I like to address situations that are, that don't make sense to me, basically.
Okay. So a lot of situations that don't make sense, you seem to be getting a lot of people angry. How do you manage the pressure?
It's basically, I have a mantra whenever I write whatever I write. Is like, I'm responsible for what I write. You are responsible for what you understand.
Okay.
Right. So whatever you get out of it is like up to you to manage how you understand what I write. So generally, and what I write isn't usually offensive to me. It's just what all of us are thinking, and then most of us are scared to say.
Okay, so you once did a write-up. I believe you work for a magazine, The Face magazine.
Yeah.
Okay, you once did a write-up about Cameroonian artists and their way of approaching. Did you receive their way of approaching the art? Did you receive any backlashes from that?
Yeah, a couple of backlashes, like quite a number of it.
Okay, you once did another one, still in the same magazine, about comedians, about writers. I think it was something about writing as in writers. People wanting writers to create certain roles for some particular people because they have, So, how did you receive any backlash from that?
Yeah, I received. You would always receive backlash when you say things like that.
How do you manage this? How do you live with yourself, knowing that a lot of people don't usually agree with your writings?
You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with my writing, right? Usually, and I use a lot of personal pronouns in my writing.
Okay.
I know, I've met, I've seen, I think.
Okay.
And I don't think you have to like me or like the writing. So it's just a question of why do you hate it? Why does it bother you?
Okay. Yeah. So how long have you been writing?
Officially, like taking writing
yes.
seriously, I've taken writing seriously since 2018, but I've been writing for all of my life.
Oh, okay, that's very nice. So for this period of time you've been writing, we didn't know Fokwa Babila, the controversial writer. We didn't even know Fokwa Babila. So is it like you've been doing these controversial writings for a very long time, or it just simply started when you started your professional career as a writer?
I've done controversial writings, like a little throwback. I got famous in high school for writing essays, and that was because my favorite topics were argumentative, and I would always be at the edges.
Okay.
So controversy has been my
So just out of curiosity, where does an accounting expert and somebody who is into numbers
trained, yeah.
Yes, where did you come up as a writer? When did it start?
I guess it's one of those things that you are born with, and yes, it's just inherent.
So you haven't received any training, any school of writing?
Formal education for writing, no, but you cannot write on a professional level without receiving any training. So you have to explore resources. Unfortunately, we don't have enough in our locality, but then we have the International University of Google and YouTube. Then I've had some people who have had experience in the field for a couple of years share their experiences and their approach to it.
That's cool. So Mr. Babila, let me call you Mr. Babila. Let me hide the name that people will kill you for.
Yeah, whenever somebody says Mr., I know I'm in trouble.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Babila.
Yeah.
He was being modest when he was introducing himself, so I'm going to reintroduce him. Mr. Babila, owner of 2 master's degrees and the writer of Therapy, which has been which made a lot of noise when it was, first of all released that this movie is out on Netflix. I think it's the first movie on Netflix. So
there are people who disagree with that, but okay.
Yeah, it's the first movie on Netflix. Fisherman's Diary is the first movie on Netflix worldwide. I know the difference.
Okay. It's important to always make
yes, it's important to always make those differences.
People walk around with guns,
So what I've been doing my assignment. So your 2 masters, what do you have them in?
I have one in accounting, and I have one in corporate finance.
Where did you find the time?
I have 24 hours a day, so I sleep for 4. So.
Oh, you sleep for 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that was an insult. It was a direct attack to me because I sleep for like 24 hours.
You're not asleep now. So.
Anyway, so these 2, is it something that you've been using that you felt like you wanted to use these 2 degrees, or it was out of a result of a mistake that you made you're trying to correct?
No, if you look, both degrees are closely related. One is in accounting and one is in finance.
And
so it's not a mistake, it's planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing happens by chance?
No, nothing happens by chance.
You don't believe in chance?
No. I believe in cause and effect.
That's very, very factual.
Yeah, so when you believe in chance, you make mistakes.
Cut, let's take a break, we'll be right back. We are back. That was a very interesting cut, right? This is the Crystal Beauty Show, and I'm standing. Oh my God. I'm standing with Mr. Fokwa Babila here, writer and business enthusiast. I like the way he puts it.
Right.
And this is my favorite part of the show, and we're going to play a small, teeny, tiny game where you get to answer just 3 questions.
I don't like games.
You don't like games?
Yeah.
Why?
No. It's games.
Okay.
Games means they're never good.
Okay. So we will be diving into the cup questions. These are 2 cups. You just pick a question of your choice from anyone, and you answer it as honestly as you can. As honestly as you can, which means you tell the truth.
I tell the truth. Truth is subjective, so
okay. So you're going to pick 3 questions. You pick one at a time, and you answer.
So, like in any order.
Yes, any order. Yes. Ooh. I always like this cup. It's not nice.
So I must not pick from both.
Yeah.
Wow. If you could jump into a pool of something, what would it be?
Before you answer that, a lot of people have been having the same answer. We know, right? So let's see if he's going to be different.
I'm very vain, so if I'm going to jump into a pool of something, it should definitely be whiskey or something. I'm not an alcoholic, so
the reflex is always I'm going to jump into the pool of money. So I think this is one of the first different answers.
No, if you're jumping into a pool of money, then
no.
What if the money is made up of coins? You may hit your head.
Okay, but alcohol, hit your head.
It's like water.
Spirit, you just die immediately. Okay, we're going to go to the next question.
So I pick from
any cup. Yes. Okay. I've gone to the cup that is not nice.
Do I have any enemies?
That's a very tough question.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you bear grudges on someone?
Ooh. No, I've forgiven all of them.
Yeah, forgiving all of them.
Or more like I've paid back all of them. So.
Oh, yeah, you're a person of payback.
Yes.
I think I know somebody like that. There's joy derived from payback.
Yeah.
What did they do to you that you deserve? Or you don't want to talk about it on show? They broke your heart.
One shouted at me. No, if you break my heart, it's that's not something that I should hold grudges for.
Okay, so we're going to go to the next and the last question before we leave this segment. Please don't be nice. You've been really, really nice, and it's really scary.
I'm still going to the very risky.
You like to dare.
It's not even risky. What phobia do I have? I have like 2 phobias.
Okay.
The one for height, I think it's called acrophobia, and the one for tight spaces.
Claustrophobic.
Yes.
We both have the same phobias. But most of my best views always come from up. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's just recently that I found the courage to be able to stand like on the balcony of a 3rd floor.
Yeah. It's always very scary.
And it still feels like the building is moving.
And there's this small voice in your head that says jump.
Or drop your phone.
Yes, I don't understand how evil the mind is.
Or this thing is about to break.
Yes, I will fall, that kind of stuff. So this has been the Crystal Corner. This has been the fun we've been having, and you're still on the Crystal Beauty Show. We're going to dive to the 3rd segment of the show. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. This is the Crystal Beauty Show if you're just tuning in, and my name is Tiafak Tonka. Now we're still in the studio with the king of nerds, Mr. Writer, Mr. Business Enthusiast, Mr. Controversial.
Look, it feels now like an attack.
But it's an attack. I'm attacking you for the people who don't have the opportunity to attack you. It's just, since we're on camera, I don't want to be.
All of this is like.
I don't want violence.
Have you ever heard of thick skin? My skin actually ends here, so.
So everything bounds.
Yes.
You're bulletproof. You should go and listen to
attack proof.
Attack proof.
Yeah.
The bullet can enter. They can say for you.
No.
Okay, Mr. Babila. How in your journey as a writer, who has been your biggest inspiration? Who has been the people who have been inspiring you?
The people who have inspired me. Where do I even start? And first of all, one person who really inspired me in my writing is my high school teacher, Mrs. Tako.
Okay.
So she was the first person who advised me to take writing seriously and to consider a career in writing.
Okay.
And she went a step further to publish some of my essays in her book.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so then the second person who made that same push, again, it was in university, Madame Loveline.
Okay.
She was teaching us use of English.
Oh.
Yeah, so again, she asked again in the same light, have you ever considered taking
writing as a thing?
As a career, yeah. Again, I was like focused on accounting and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, then the third person who is like the third entity in this case was hunger.
That's a classic.
Yeah, they say it's when you are at your lowest that you realize that you can make material out of
a lot of things.
So I embraced that prospect.
Hunger is not very. I think that's one of the worst things that people can go through. Anyone can go through. It just makes you discover these things about yourself that was never actually really there. So, which will you say is your perfect piece, your masterpiece, or you've not published that yet?
No, I've not had any. I've not had anything that I can call my. The thing about art and writing is it's always evolving, right?
Okay.
You can call one thing your masterpiece today and the next day.
Now, up to this point, you should have something that you say, oh, this is it.
I love all of my works equally.
You know, equally.
Yes.
And I'm trying to make you choose. Yeah. You have a choice.
But let me just drag us back a little bit to what the person professionally inspires me. Like locally, I have this guy Tebonji. Yeah, he's like one of my teachers. The guy pushes me a lot, makes me see a lot more in writing. And then there is the classic somebody that you always look at like, wow, this guy writes, James Cameron.
James Cameron is a writer. I feel embarrassed that I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's
that's nice. So let's now talk about your most famous piece of writing. I'm not talking about the best, I'm talking about the one everybody knows. Let's talk therapy. Now, how did it happen? Was it on a Sunday morning where you were drinking, you're in a pool of whiskey, and you decided to just write therapy? How did it come?
I have this firm belief that you can never write something that is not important to you. As a writer, you can never write anything that's not important to you. So therapy is one of those things that the idea, the concept of therapy, not the session, the concept of the project, came as something that I'm passionate about, the dynamics of family. I'm always asking myself, when I see people make a big deal out of, not that it's not a big deal out of infidelity, I always ask myself, what's the worst that could happen? Is there something that could be more terrible than infidelity in marriage? So that's technically how I was trying to explore possibilities. That's how I was trying to explore possibilities of finding that answer when therapy came, and it just happened.
So now, therapy, rumor has it that therapy was not originally called therapy. What was the original title of therapy before it break into this?
I'm bound by contractual obligations not to discuss initial drafts of therapy and stuff. Yeah.
So they can lock you if you talk about it.
All Mangolas go prison.
All Mangolas go prison. Okay.
We are basically.
See, I hope you guys are listening. So he's bound not to talk about therapy, but he has been talking about other things. Writing.
One way or another, right? We are basically in prison. So if you lock me in a room, it's just now it's a matter of integrity, holding my end of the bargain, keeping to my word.
Okay, that's really cool. I think I respect a man who keeps to his words. And people, please, I didn't mention this. This is one of the parts where he was also being humble. Mr. Babila here is an award-winning production designer as per Simfest. No, how they call this? Le Film Camerounais. Yes, he took the best production design prize for Fisherman's Diary, if I'm not making a mistake.
Yeah, I would say I was very lucky because there were tough competitions.
So tell me about that. How was the feeling? Did you just dive on it? Were you like the Mr. Bean, or was it an exciting experience?
It was one of those things that you just go like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see it coming, and it came. So my surprise was kind of reserved. Then I looked at people who were in the categories, people like Jeremy Franzel. Those are people who've been ahead of me, and then I felt good about myself. This is.
And if you were to dedicate that award to somebody today, who would that be?
If I were to dedicate that award, I think I'll dedicate it to. I would like to dedicate it to my mom, to the memory of my mom, but I think it will go to the most deserving person of it, Tebonje. He is the one who advised me to pick up production designing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
nice.
He is the one who gave me my first book on production designing.
design.
He's still giving me lessons today.
Okay, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I think Tebonje, if you're watching, we thank you for being such an amazing inspiration to to the king of nerds. Please, I'm sure you're not the person initiating these ideas of rebellion and controversy in his head. I'm sure you're the kind of person that has been telling him to have 2 masters.
No. Those are, I'm totally responsible for those.
Okay, that's just you 100%. You don't change the nature.
No, that's me embracing my inner self.
Okay, so as a writer and as a production designer, if you were to drop one, which will it be?
It's no, this is.
I have Mr. Babila here on the corner.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I actually rather breathe or eat. Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. That's about it.
Yes. And even if I choose to drop any, I'll still be carrying them with me. There is none of them that I can, because coming to be a production designer, now my writing has been affected too, because I write with production design in mind.
Okay. And it really shapes.
Yes. And when I am designing somebody's story, I think, what was this writer thinking? Okay. So I design with the writer's perspective in mind.
So as a production designer, writer, whatever, that director that you've always wanted to work with?
Locally or internationally?
Locally. Let's go home. Let's stay home.
I think I would want to work with wow. There's so many.
Just give a list.
I think I would like to work with people like John Scott again.
And you've already worked with him, so that does not count.
Oh, somebody that I've not worked with.
Yes, that you would like to work with.
Oh man, I think Billy Bob.
Oh, okay.
Billy Bob Ndife.
Who are the people you have worked with and you want to work with again?
The people I've worked with, I definitely want to work with John Scott. I definitely want to work with Tebonje again, Kanyan Kwai.
Okay.
Yes, that's also my father in writing.
Okay. Yes. That you did not mention.
Yeah, no, I've not talked a lot about him.
Okay.
But then he's like he is the person who held my hand and brought me into the industry.
Okay.
It is through him that I came to know Tebonje too.
Okay. That is amazing. So, Mr. Babila, it's been a very fine session with you on the Crystal Beauty Show, and I think this is one of the most interesting interviews I've conducted in a very long time, which is applause to me. So please,
I just brought the vibe.
Yeah, you understand, right? The vibe. So, Mr. Babila, can you tell us where we can find you as a writer, as a production designer? You can just give your
can find me
your WhatsApp number to the 110 ladies.
No, people who want my number can hit me on social media.
Okay, yeah.
You can find me on Facebook. It's not very active. Like I log on like once in 2 months. Fokwa Babila.
Okay.
But if you really want to find me, you'll find me on Twitter.
Where arrogant people are.
Yes, you'll find me.
Where all the radicals, the violence.
Yes, that's where there is no peace.
Okay.
Yes, you'll find me on Twitter, Fokwa_Bila still.
Okay.
But you can also find me on Instagram, Fokwa.
That's beautiful. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fine time here with Fokwa Babila on the set of Crystal Beauty Show, and you know how we do it. We have a lot of fun, laughter, and educatement. If you know the drill. So this is the Crystal Beauty Show. If you're just tuning in, I'm sorry we are rounding off, but you can always catch a rebroadcast when the channel you're watching on decides to rebroadcast it, or you can watch us on YouTube at the Crystal Beauty Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Then you hit the notification bell so you're the first person to know when we have a new video. And if you want to look for us on social media, we're on all platforms as the Crystal Beauty Show: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and what have you. It has been a fine time, and we are signing out.